Today we're going to go through registering your student online at the Wellington Catholic District School Board. Please go to our board website. On there, click on registration, and depending on the grade that your child is going into, please click on the appropriate section, either kindergarten registration, elementary registration, or secondary school. The links are the same and they will all get you to the same spot. So if you are doing a kindergarten registration, you would click on kindergarten registration and then click on the highlighted blue line. Please click here to complete the online student registration form. If you're doing elementary registration, it is the same thing. Please click here to complete the online student registration form. And secondary, a little bit further down, it's the black line. Please click here to complete the online student registration form. Clicking on any of these links will take you to the online pre-registration form, which requests some very basic information concerning the student that you are registering. So we're going to register a student here. When you're entering the phone number, please make sure that you have the hyphen in between the three sets of numbers. So on entry year, if you are registering the student for this current school year, you would pick 2023 or the school year that we're in. For a pre-registration for JK for next year, you would pick the next school year. So in this particular case, it's a pre-JK student who will be starting next September. In this case, you would put in the school that is within your district, or if you are registering your student for the elementary IB program, you would pick Sacred Heart Guelph. And then the entry date for that the student will be starting. So for next year, it'll be September the 5th. And then submit. It'll give you a pop-up telling you the form has been submitted successfully. And then within a few minutes, you will be receiving an email specifying that the board has received your pre-enrollment information and that the information is being verified by the school. So at the school level, the school will verify your address to make sure that you're within the boundaries of the school, and they might have some other questions. If everything is okay, you will get a follow-up email saying that your pre-registration has been approved. If there are any issues with the registration information, you will receive a phone call from the school secretary for further clarification on some points. Once the school staff has approved your pre-registration information, you will get a second email. All the emails you will receive from the board concerning your registration will be coming from Wellington CDSB admin. So when you click on your second email, it'll provide you some additional details, requesting that you create a PowerSchool parent portal login. You will be required to do that in order to finish your online registration. So it'll tell you about creating the account, about contacting the school, the documents that you will need to provide the school to verify address, citizenship, things of that nature. And then it'll give you instructions for creating a parent portal or adding to an existing portal. So what you want to do at this point is go to the PowerSchool, the link, which is the parent portal. So you want to create an account with PowerSchool. And at this point, you will be required to enter some information. And I'm just going to split my screen up so you can see everything that's going to be required. And getting to the email here. So as you can see, it's going to require your first name, your last name, your email address that you use to register your child in, it'll ask you to re-enter the email address to ensure that it is correct. The username that you want. If you pick a username that If you pick a username that is already being used, you will get an error message. I suggest that you use whatever the first part of your email is, and do not use any special characters in your email or your username, please. A new password that you've requested. Passwords must follow those rules. Must be a minimum of 8 characters, contain at least one uppercase and one lowercase, a letter, and a special character. And now this is the important part here. This is where you would put in the information that is provided in the email. So you want to put in the student's name that you registered, the access ID, which can be found in the email. So the easiest thing is to cut and paste, and then the password that was provided to you. And then you want to specify your relationship with the student, so in this case, the father. And if you've had multiple students, you can do them here, but I've only got one student that I'm registering, so enter. And now my user ID has been created. Now you will, before you can log in, you will have to verify your email address. You will be getting a third email from administration specifying, asking you to verify your email address. So we'll show you that in a minute. So as you can see, it's already popped in. It's fairly quick. So you would click on that email, click on the link to verify the email address, and now you see that you're at the login screen. So at this point, you want to log in with the user ID and password that you set up in the previous step. And you'll be in the forms. So in this case, we're going to be registering Susie. This is where you enter your detailed information. The parent portal, this is also the parent portal, and as your child continues through the school system, you'll be able to see report cards, interim marks, and things of that nature as he or she go on in higher grades. So all the forms must be entered, and they go in logical sequence. So citizenship information, you enter your information as you go. So in this case, we're going to say Canadian citizen, and then there's a couple of questions that come up based on your residency status. So the information is all required. As you can see, it's got the red asterisk, and in this particular case, language spoken at home, things of that nature are required so that we can offer supports if required for English language learners or additional supports. You have the choice of submitting, and when you're finished and submit it, it'll go on to the next form. Or if you're in the middle of the form and you don't want to lose your work, you can save for later, and then you can come back and continue. So in this case, we're just going to finish this one up. And country of birth is Canada. And in this case, we would submit. And you know the form data has been submitted, and now the system will take you on to the next piece of information. Some of the information is brought in from the registration, the pre-registration. Other information you're going to have to enter in again. And then you would finish off through all the forms until you get to the very last one, which is consent and acknowledgement. Right, where you would consent, acknowledge that you've completed all the forms, acknowledge that you've completed, consent to use electronic signatures, and submit. At that point, the data portion of your online registration is complete. You are still not enrolled in the school for next year. There are some things that you have to still complete with the school. The school secretary will reach out to you. They will be required to see proof of citizenship, documentation around address to confirm that you live within the address, the boundaries of the school, and any documentation that is required from the registration information you put in. Consent, custody, if you're a sole parent, things of that nature. So the school will reach out to you when you're finished the form and ask and make an appointment for you to come in to view all those forms. And at this point, your child is registered in the school and ready to start on the date you specified would be their first day. If you have any questions, you can reach out directly to the school secretary of the school where you're registering your child or children, and they'd be more than happy to assist you with any questions that you may have.